Hi y'all, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and today I am here with the 9th video in our ongoing Handmade Holiday Series here at Sewspire.com. If you are just joining us, welcome. There are 8 more videos that you can catch up on today. Just hop on over to Sewspire.com and you'll find those all under the tag Handmade Holiday. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. You know, I am so grateful for your continued interest and support of this channel. Today we are here to make a drawstring backpack. So this is the very simple drawstring bag where you pull the straps and then the straps double as a backpack. So it's a quick and easy sew that is going to require about 1.5 yards, maybe 1.25 yards of material, all right? So you're going to begin with 4 body panels which measure 15 by 18, and at the top of those panels you're going to mark 3 inches down with 2 pins, and you're going to fold in a little narrow hem about 1/2 inch. Okay, that's what that looks like on the front there, and then on the back, and you're just going to top stitch right to that 3-inch mark, and you'll repeat that on the other side. And this is just at the top of the exterior panels, so you will not do this to the interior body panels, just those exterior panels. And the purpose of this little hem is to create a finished edge for where we're going to feed that drawstring through the top of the bag. So I have put in my little 3-inch hem there at the top of that. Then the next step is to prepare the straps. These are really long straps that are crafted from a 3-inch wide by 70-inch piece of cotton fabric. If you do not have any wide back fabric on hand, go ahead and piece together your 44-inch material until you get a 70-inch long strip, and you're going to need 2 of those. And you will fashion that strap in the typical Sewspire method. Fold that in half long ways and press. Open that up and then bring those raw edges inward to meet on that center press line. Fold it over one more time and press, and then top stitch down that open edge to finish. So you will create 2 of those really long straps, and then you're going to cut off a 5-inch piece from each of your straps, and these are going to become little tabs which you'll fold in half and attach to the bottom of that exterior panel. And this is what we're going to loop the backpack straps and the drawstring through. So fold your 5-inch tab in half so the raw edges align, and then position that 2 inches up from the base of that exterior, and you're going to have about 1/2 inch of overhang on that little tab. We will not trim that up. I want to leave that there so as the drawstring is tightened or the bag is washed, that the structure and the stability of that tab is not compromised. Okay, so that's going to be hidden on the inside seam, but it is important to have that overlap just a bit. So once you get your tabs in place at the base, go ahead and stitch those down so we can remove the pins holding them. Then I just used about a 1/4 inch seam allowance to attach those. So now on your exterior panels, you should have 2 tabs attached at the base and your little 3-inch hem at the top. Then towards the top, you want to take that top edge and fold it in half to create a 1.5 inch hem across the top of that. Go ahead and press it. And then really close to the base of that hem, you're going to run 2 rows of top stitching like this. You do not have to worry about finishing that hem as it will be on the interior. If you happen to have an overlock machine or a serger, it would be really nice to go ahead and just finish that up. But I am not going to do that for the sake of simplicity. I'm just going to run the 2 rows of stitching. I've made it across there. So on this first panel, I have my tabs at the bottom and my hem at the top. The sides of that hem remain open because that's the gusset to feed the drawstring through. You're going to repeat that process with the second panel, but you can omit the tabs because we only need just the 1 set. Then you're going to take your 2 exterior panels and line up those top edges first because you want to try and have those gussets aligned nice and neat. And then go ahead and line up the base and the sides. And then using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, you're going to start stitching below that hem. So about 1.5 inches down, use a back stitch to reinforce. And you're going to stitch the sides. When you get to these little tabs, reinforce with back stitch. And then across the bottom and back up the side, make certain to stop before you close up the sides of those gussets. So stop right at that first or even second row of stitching. All right? Stitch the sides. I stop short of that gusset at the top there. And I stitched the base and I've reinforced those tabs. So I'm going to turn this around, poke out those corners. I really, really love this fabric. It's so pretty. Okay, and this is what your bag looks like so far. Okay, now for the interior, you're going to use the same measurements, 15 by 18. You don't need to do anything except position the fabric right sides facing, stitch the sides and the base with that 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then go ahead and fold over your 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch hem at the top of that, and then you're going to fit the interior inside of the exterior. And I begin by lining up those side seams. And then I pull all the fabric taut and put a pin in the center on the front and the back. Like that. So pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to use a very narrow 1/4 inch seam allowance and top stitch all the way around that top edge. Then you need a large safety pin and you're going to hook one end of your drawstring, and that's going to go up and through the little tab at the base and then around one side of the bag. Then you can go ahead and pull that all the way through, and you're just pulling it through one side. Okay, and pull that a little long so you don't lose it. Then you're going to come back to the other end of that very same drawstring. Put the safety pin through that end, and it's already through the hoop, so that's good. Now you're going to come back up through the opposite side, and remember to get it in between that little gusset, which takes a little finagling. And then same thing, feed that through. And you can pull on the opposite end if needed to get a little more slack. Just make sure that you don't accidentally pull that drawstring back through, because you don't want to rethread this over and over. Okay, so then once you have both ends out, you're going to want to align those cut edges and try and make them nice. And then knot them so that there's no chance you're going to lose them. And just pull that good and tight. And then you can go ahead and trim that up. And those ends will just fray. That'll be a design element. Okay. That's that. Okay. Now we're going to take the remaining drawstring, insert the safety pin through the end of that, come up through that tab at the base, and same thing, you're going to feed it through one side and then switch to the other end. So I pulled that out long. I'm going to remove the safety pin, go back to the other end, which is still free, and come in the opposite side. So it remains through the loop and then comes up through that opposite side. And then once you get that through, remove the safety pin and align those edges. And then go ahead and knot it so that you don't have to re-thread. And just angle that close to the knot. And then that is what this little darling bag looks like. The kids love having these bags because they're nice and lightweight, but yet they can put their possessions in them and then pull that drawstring, keep everything secure, and then use these straps to wear on their shoulders like a backpack. And so if you have someone who is very tall, you could just easily increase the length of that drawstring to give them some more shoulder room. Like for example, if you were making this for a man, this one is sized for a child or smaller teenager. The only thing you would again have to do is just increase the length of that strap. You could also easily increase the size of the panels if you wanted to create something bigger. If you omitted those bottom tabs and increased the size of the panels, you can make a super cute laundry bag too for anybody who's headed off to college. So finished, this bag roughly measures 14 inches across the base and 15 inches high, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this project. It was an absolute pleasure to sew with you. If you are still here with me, I want to thank you so much for hanging around because I have a special announcement to make. I hope you had a chance to notice the shirt that I'm wearing. It says create and then it has a period. This is kind of like a statement shirt, that I have designed and stitched on my embroidery machine. I have another one here that I want to show you. This is just a classic long sleeve t-shirt here with the cuffed sleeves. This one that I'm wearing, it's called Comfort Colors and has a little hood in the back. It's a little lighter weight. And so what I am doing is I am going to be selling these t-shirts in order to raise additional money so I can replace my computer. I have my original MacBook here that I started the channel with in 2015. I actually bought this computer specifically to start this channel. So it is time for me to replace this computer, and I would like to replace it with a bigger desktop to account for my fading vision there as I approach 50, and the speed that I need to process and store and edit the content that I create for the channel. So all of that information is going to be down in the details of this video, as well as over on Sewspire.com if you just search create. So I'm looking forward to producing the last tutorial for 2019. That will be the 10th video in our Handmade Holiday Series, and that will come out next Tuesday, 9 a.m. And then after that, there'll be one more video. I'm going to do a special roundup video for all of 2019 and share my plans for 2020. So with any good luck, by the time I make the roundup video, I am also going to be able to announce to you that we've sold enough t-shirts to replace my trusty MacBook, okay? So if this works for you, awesome. I would love to make something special for you and send a little piece of my studio and my creative genius into your life and your studio, okay? But again, no obligation. I always know in my heart that it just works out exactly like it's supposed to work out, okay? So thank you for being here with me, for making it this far into the tutorial, and I shall be looking forward to seeing you next week and beyond in 2020. So until we meet again, as always, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. I hope you all have a beautiful week.